kids, what time is it? No, it's not howdy-doody time right now. But it is time for
Jake Hartford.
You know Hitler and Caesar and Agnew and Nixon, Stalin and Lenin and David the Klansman. But do you recall the most famous politician of all?
Teddy the red-nosed senator had a very shiny car, and if you ever saw it, you were probably near a bar. All of the other senators wondered how he got his dames. They thought he drank too many to play in any bedroom games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Teddy, with your nose so red, won't you help me guide my sled? That's how the police found them, wrapped around a maple tree. Teddy, the red-nosed senator, he's a drunken SOB.
He's a drunken SOB.
Good morning, everybody. It's 5:09, 9 past 5, 51 minutes before the hour of 6 o'clock. For all you people who are out shopping on Black Saturday. They don't call it Black Saturday. What do they call this Saturday? Somber Saturday? Silver Saturday? Got to have some name for it. Maybe you guys can come up with a name for it. Anyway, our phone number, as always, 591-8900. You wish to text me, you can, 68683. Just put WLSAM and then the message. You wish to email, you can. It's jake@WLSAM.com. Or you can join the Facebook crowd. Go to Facebook, look for Jake Hartford. There's a Jake Hartford show, but we like to go to Jake Hartford. That's what we like to do. There's a lot of stuff in the news. The big story, one of the big stories is the president got a fat lip. The story is he was playing basketball, and one of the players he was playing with hit him in an elbow. The president ended up with 12 stitches. That's the story. I'm sure by the end of the weekend, the story will be that George Bush did it. Actually, it was 1 year ago. This happened to him yesterday, and it was exactly 1 year ago yesterday that Tiger Woods had his little incident in the driveway, where supposedly he was fleeing his wife, and his wife came after him with a 5-iron. Although 7-iron is the preferred club of choice. I don't know. We'll see what the actual story really is. Paul in Arlington Heights. Good morning, Paul. Welcome to the show.
Well, good morning, Jake. Jake, I'd like to start out the morning by wishing a friend of mine. Now, I want to use any names. This person will recognize it. Here's this birthday greeting. I have a friend that's going to be celebrating a birthday this coming week, okay? I know he's listening to the show as we speak. He's a Facebook friend. He's been a friend of mine for almost 19 years.
Oh, it's not me then.
You hit the nail on the head, Jake.
Oh, it is me.
Yeah, so there you go.
You threw me with the 19 years because there wasn't a Facebook there 19 years ago.
I know, but for the last, year and a half years, you've been my Facebook friend, so there you go.
I had that idea 19 years ago. I said, we should start something. Everybody looked at me like, you're nuts.
Well, you see?
Why was I going to call it Facebook? I had a different part of the anatomy for it.
No, Jake, you just mentioned Facebook. You had a posting there yesterday. And from what I was reading, did you actually go out shopping out in the public on a Black Friday?
Yes, we did.
Oh, my
Miss
goodness.
Dill Pickle, who decided, here's the thing. Years ago, I used to, it all depended, because I used to fill in for Donna Roman when they would be off for Thanksgiving and the day after.
All right.
And when I was doing that, I would never go on Black Friday. But then a couple times when they were working, they didn't take off for Thanksgiving, I would go, and I would go for the kids, the toy stores. I mean, there used to be a KB toy store. Whatever happened to that?
KB, yeah, I don't think they're in existence anymore.
Yeah, it was Toys R Us, there was KB, and I forget what else. But I didn't, plan on doing any of the shopping. But yesterday around 11:30, my wife said, they say the parking lots are almost full. Why don't we go? Because the doorbusters are done at 1:00.
Right.
And I took her. I drove her. I wasn't going in. I'm not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And we took her to Orland. I took her to Orland, and she went in, and I was trying to get a place to park so I can just wait for her anywhere. It didn't matter where I parked because I just wanted to park somewhere.
You didn't go to that handicap parking, I hope.
No, you know what was going on? It was weird because there weren't any Orland police directing traffic in the mall. However, there were Secretary of State police going after people in the handicapped areas. Yeah,
they were warning you the day before. Watch out where you park. You better have your plate or placard on your windshield.
Well, doesn't that defeat the whole purpose? When you warn people it's going to happen?
Yeah, well, and yet I'm sure there's some people that were dumb enough to do it anyway.
But the weird thing was, when 1:00 came, she was done about 20 after 1. And while there was no place to park, by that time, there were spaces all over the place. Yeah.
I know the wife went with her brother out like around 7:15. She wasn't nuts like she used to go, at 4 in the morning. Now it's even 3 in the morning, some of these places. And she got some pretty good bargains. She put it on Facebook, some of the bargains that she actually took pictures, and so some of the big bargains she got while she was out there yesterday.
What happened?
I just stayed home. I watched sports. I watched the big three, Springer, Wilkos, and Povich, and then watched that Bulls game last night. Oh,
did Derrick Rose play?
No, he didn't play, but they were there till the very end, and a last-second shot beat them. But I tell you, Jake, I was impressed by one of the Denver players. If I ever get another haircut, you got to look on Facebook or on the internet somewhere. You'll see a picture of what this guy looks like now. A guy called Chris Anderson. Man, he's got a mohawk to end all mohawks. What a neat guy.
Yesterday my wife wasn't in the shopping mood until she talked to somebody who had gone to Kmart and somewhere else, and she started rattling off. My wife tells me, she said, well, she got X amount of jeans, and she got this, and she got that, and she boom, and boom. It was like all $60. I said, wow. She said the women's underwear at Kmart was going for 10 cents a piece. And I said, wow, for 10 cents a piece, I'll go rummage through the women's underwear at Kmart.
Nothing like quality. well, as long as you're mentioning about dressing, one last thing, Jake,
Sure.
The wife was at a arts and crafts show last Sunday in Mount Prospect over here, and her and two fellow authors were selling their books, okay? And needless to say, what are you doing at an arts and crafts show selling books? Just like we were mentioning last week about that woman that supposedly was a nun selling her breads there.
Yeah.
Was the same scenario. I suggested to Morgan, why don't you dress up like a nun? Maybe they'll get more sales because they feel sorry for you and they'll buy your book for that reason.
You have to do what you have to do.
You got it, Jake, but she didn't listen to reason, and the rest is history here.
For those who don't know, your wife is an author, Morgan Mendel, whose latest book is called Two Wrongs.
That was her first book.
Her first book.
Yes.
What's her latest book?
Enjoy it, Jake, because there's a lot of references to Chicago in that one. Her latest one is called Two Wrongs, and the middle one's called Girl My Dreams, and she's got three other ones burning in the irons here. So let's hope that one of these days she'll become the next, who's that one that writes Harry Potter books? That way I could be living on Easy Street here.
Yeah, there's no Easy Street in Arlington Heights, Paul. Thank you.
I guess you're right. Happy birthday, Jake.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Speaking of reason, why not? Paul in Downers Grove.
Yes, hi, Jake. I got a couple of entertainment ideas.
You know, you stole your joke last week, Paul.
No, I don't listen to the.
But you stole Sean Hannity's joke.
I don't listen to his show.
So it's just by accident?
It was my idea. I wouldn't listen to an idiot like Sean Hannity.
Well, apparently you two think alike.
The only time I hear Hannity is when they're doing clips of him on, WCPT, the show.
Yeah, but you two must think alike because you took his material.
Well,
anyway, what's on your mind?
Oh, okay. I was thinking that Tom DeLay could go back on Dancing with the Stars and do Jailhouse Rock, and he wouldn't even need a partner. He could use a wooden chair. And then I was thinking celebrity Republican cat fights. Barbara Bush versus Sarah Palin. Let them go at it.
And who would be the Democratic celebrity cat fight, Paul?
Well, the Democrats they don't.
Jan Schakowsky and Barbara Boxer. There you go.
They're more.
How about
civil.
that? Jan Schakowsky and Barbara Boxer. Celebrity Democratic cat
they're
fight.
Civil to each other. I think the reason that they were getting catty with each other is because the Bushes actually think that they can run a third Bush, run Jeb for president. And Sarah Palin, I guess she thinks she's going to run for president. I think if either one of them run, I think, either President Obama or if Obama doesn't decide to run again, Dennis Kucinich, either one of them, will win in 2012 if they run Sarah Palin or Jeb Bush.
But Dennis Kucinich doesn't play basketball. Thank you, Paul. Hey, speaking of President Obama, he had pre-taped an interview with Barbara Walters, which apparently aired on ABC last night. He revealed that he has Stevie Wonder, the Rolling Stones, and Bob Dylan on his iPod. Unfortunately, Barbara had asked him, the question was, what did he plan to do about North Korea? Back after this in WLS.
You're listening to Jake Hartford, 890 AM WLS.
Hurry into the Home Depot this weekend for a special buy on a 4-piece Ryobi 18-volt combo kit for $69. Over a $150 value, it lets you give the doer on your list something great so they can make something great. We're lowering the cost of powering through the holidays with a Ryobi combo kit for just $69. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. While supplies last, U.S. only. See store for details.
And now the voice of reason for Perkins.
Locked inside this cast iron safe is a collection of absolutely never been seen before new entrees from Perkins. We just had to keep them a secret. Well, at least for 2 more seconds.
Say yes to Perkins' new made-from-scratch biscuit bakes. Fluffy eggs, melted cheese, and hearty ingredients, all baked into a flaky biscuit crust and topped with more cheese and rich sauce. Available all day. Come in for a yes at Perkins Restaurants.
In business, words are words and promises are promises. But only performance is reality. That's why Epson delivers the ultimate in print performance with the Workforce 630 series of all-in-one printers. They print up to 10 pages in 40 seconds. And they deliver the outstanding image quality Epson is known for. Keep your business running at full speed with the Workforce 630 series from Epson. built to perform.
Find great deals on an Epson Workforce printer at OfficeMax, Staples, Best Buy, and Epson.com.
Find out how to improve your odds and beat the house with the Casino Answer Man, John Grahowski. Heard every Tuesday through Friday afternoon at 5:18 on 890 AM WLS. You can even brush up on your gaming skills with John's articles in the Sun-Times. The Casino Answer Man is brought to you by Four Winds Casino Resort. 130,000 square feet of gaming excitement nestled in the beautiful woods of New Buffalo, Michigan. Enjoy 3,000 slots and a large selection of table games. Live larger with Four Winds Casino Resort and the Casino Answer Man on 890 AM WLS.
When choosing a treatment for cancer, experience counts. As the nation's first proton treatment center, Loma Linda University Medical Center pioneered the use of proton radiation for the treatment of prostate, lung, and brain cancers. We treat more patients than any other center of its kind in the world. Nearly a fourth of all proton therapy patients are treated at Loma Linda University Medical Center. Nearly 12,000 in all, over 1,000 last year. Unlike IMRT and tomotherapy, which use X-rays, protons can be controlled to start and stop in the body to deliver maximum radiation to the tumor. This increased precision leads to less radiation to surrounding healthy tissues. To learn more and receive your free informational DVD, visit protons.com or call 1-800-PROTONS. Loma Linda University Medical Center. Many strengths, one mission.
Learn to avoid having a financial repeat of 2008. Listen to Securing Your Financial Future with the Goldstone Financial Group. Sunday mornings at 8.
Find out what's happening in the nation and around the world with ABC News updates at the top and bottom of every hour on 890 AM WLS. Jake Hartford on 890 AM WLS.
5:23. If you're just waking up, it's Saturday. Hope today's the day you wanted to get up. Looking at the headlines, mentioned yesterday was Black Friday, the shopping day. Monday is Cyber Monday. Looking at the headlines in the news from around the country on the shopping, here's one. Crazed shopper stampede at Target. Another one, Marine stabbed at Best Buy. Shopper arrested after packing gun and belt, knives, pepper grenade. Mall food court placed on lockdown after fight, reports of gunshots. Shopper arrested after cutting in line raging. Police called after thousands rushed Toys R Us. Woman busted after gun threat at toy store. God. That's the fun. Those are the fun stories. Michael in Riverside, good morning. Welcome to WLS.
Good morning, Jake. How are you?
How are you?
Hey, I got lucky today.
How's that?
My new boss let me call in and talk to Jake.
Have you gotten remarried?
Oh, my God. You know what?
Just call me Jake. Just call me Jake.
Jake, you're probably closer to the truth than you can imagine.
I'm sorry. It was Jake the Psychic was coming out there for a second. I'm sorry.
Well, Jake, as you know, in a former life, pre-market crash and before the subprime mess and all of that, I had an existence in the lumber business.
You were the top board.
Yeah, right. I tell you what, I used to joke when I first broke into the lumber business here in Chicago. I had a running joke with my coworkers and customers, and that was the last lumber order that I sell will be for the pine boards for my coffin. And we used to joke and laugh. Well, guess what? I think it's closer to the truth than I like.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I mean, hey, it is what it is. The lumber business, because of the housing situation, it's just in the tank. So,
but it's good for the environment, though, because we're not cutting trees.
That's true. I guess there's a plus to it somehow. But I sat on the sidelines long enough, and I realized that this wasn't any ordinary recession, and my section of the economy was not going to bounce back. And to be honest, just a gut feeling, it may be another 10 years. before housing gets back to where it has to be, where at least somebody like myself could make a humble living from it. So anyway, I jumped out, bit the bullet, and guess what, Jake? I am taking nursing classes.
Really?
And that is why I have not been able to call in for about the last 3 months, is that I've been involved in Friday night clinicals, and where I have to work or in school, actually, for 7 hours on Friday night. I don't get home until late.
So you're reinventing yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was in the lumber business or working in the woods since age 18. I'm 56. And so what do you do when that part of the economy is just down and there aren't many opportunities, and certainly there's no growth in it? So I looked around and I thought, well, what part of the economy is perking along? And it's healthcare.
Now, you always read stories like that, people giving advice for people to do stuff just like you're doing, but you're the first person I've ever talked to that actually is taking that advice.
Well, it was a tough decision. I mean, it literally took me years to make the plunge. But you get to the end of your rope. The cup is running dry, and it makes you get up off the mat and make a decision. So anyway, it's interesting in that. The nurse, I mean, I didn't have a clue about any of this before getting involved, and there is one side benefit to it, and that is that I'm in a class of 12, and I'm the only guy in there. So
and what's the average age of the women in the class?
It ranges anywhere from 22. She's probably the youngest. And up to, I think there's a woman that's probably a handful of years older than myself.
Now, did most of them call you Grandpa?
No. They do have choice names for me.
The old geezer?
Because as you can imagine, I don't hold back. I mean, it's been, actually it's kind of funny, Jake, because when I was going to school as a youngster, and then following that, working in the woods, there were, and this was right when the equal opportunity legislation and laws were just kicking in, there were just a handful of women, I mean just a handful of women, either in my college classes in forestry and then, after graduating, actually working in the woods. And I was always supportive of those women. I mean, I really was. And as you can imagine, a lot of the men, particularly the older ones at that point, were grousing and saying, what's the world coming to and all of that. But I was always supportive. And it's just odd because it's come completely full circle.
So now you've turned this into an uplifting call.
Well, it actually is.
I started on the down. Now you're bringing it up.
It was tough having to wait long enough to see the need to make a decision to do something like this. But once that decision has been made, and once I've been in the classes, it's been a lot of fun. I have classes twice a week, all day Wednesday, and then all night on Friday.
But here's what I've got to run now. But here's what I want you to do, Michael. I want you to keep listening to the show today, because when Dr. Bob comes on, he'll take away that whole positive image you have of the health industry and really depress you for the rest of Saturday, okay?
Well, that's fine, Jake, and I will, and like I said, my boss I am now the caretaker for my mother-in-law, she being my new boss. So when you said I got remarried, it wasn't too far from the truth.
Now, hang in there, Michael.
All right, Jake, I will, and if I get an opportunity, I'll give you a call on Saturday morning.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Michael from Riverside, longtime listener. See, repositioning himself in life. We'll take more of your calls. 591-8900. It's the Awake with Jake show right here on WLS. It's 5:30.
Awake with Jake. Jake Hartford, 890 AM, WLS.
I'm Cisco Cotto on this weekend after Thanksgiving. Are you done with the turkey, or are you on the 18th different recipe for using all those leftovers? I'm back Monday morning at 9. Cisco Cotto, 890 AM, WLS.
Jake Hartford on 890 AM, WLS.
Loud Guns N' Roses with Axl Rose spitting. Ozzy's black eyes and the bats that he's bitten. Big Marshall stacks and a broken E-string. These are a few of my favorite things.
Oh, I love that part. 5:35, Awake with Jake. Get up, everybody. It's Saturday morning. I'll be here until 7 o'clock, just getting you going on a Saturday. Then at noontime, it's time for Hate Radio with Bruce and Dan. Hate Saturday, I think Bruce calls it. And he delivers, doesn't he? And Eddie and Jobo right after them at 2 o'clock for 1 hour. Then Chet Kopic, the Notre Dame pregame show, I believe, is on at 4:30 today. 4:30 or 5:30 today. And then the Notre Dame plays Southern Cal tonight right here on WLS. 591-8900 is the phone number. Mark in Chicago, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jake, how you doing?
I'm doing. What's up?
I'm waiting for that third hour to come. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
We almost had it at 4 o'clock today.
There you go.
Anyway.
You know, years ago when I got out of the Army, I used to go to Santa Fe Speedway, and I can remember they would give out free samples of Winston cigarettes. I had the pleasure of seeing Yvonne Duhamel win a race at Santa Fe Speedway. I think it was really good. And recently I was surprised to hear on the news that Anheuser-Busch was also giving away free samples of their beer to say, you know what, try our beer and compare it to other beers that you're drinking, and we have a great beer. Now the rumor has it that the marijuana dealers now are offering free junk food with every order, which is really great because, you know, Twinkies and Ho-Hos and Hostess cupcakes. I really like the cupcakes. But
it's good for the economy,
and it's a safety. It's really a safety item because you don't have to drive under the influence. You can have the complete package. You have your marijuana, you have your junk food, and you just go home and you turn on TV, and you're all set. And there you go. That's how bad the economy is.
Well, you know what I don't understand? In California and other states, I guess they're going to medical marijuana, and it's becoming a huge industry out there.
Yes.
And
well, you know what? It's legal, and then again, it's not legal. I've heard that a friend of mine has two sons that went to marijuana to try to start up a business, and they were in fear that they were going to legalize it because that would kind of kill the medical marijuana part. But they in some areas they raided them and arrested them, and in some areas they said it was okay. And I guess it was dependent on what kind of doctor's prescription that you had for if they checked you out, did you really have a condition? And basically, my condition is that I'm not high enough is my problem, and that can really bother you after a while.
So that's a legitimate condition out in California, but you have that, and then you've got the story you heard this morning with Willie Nelson.
Can you believe that?
His tour bus is going through a checkpoint, and somebody smells okay. That and Willie, guess got arrested, 6 ounces?
Yeah, isn't that a pretty minor offense?
And all the illegal aliens on the bus, they just let go.
Say what?
No, I'm just joking about that.
Yeah.
There were no illegals on the bus.
The funny thing, too, is on the Bill Maher show, he openly says that he smokes marijuana, but he says that he does it in areas that are legal, and I don't know what areas in California. There must be some areas in California that are legal, or he's got a prescription for the medical marijuana. But I'd be interested to try the medical marijuana and see what the quality is. if they have your various strengths, or if it's just like a standard marijuana. But it's you know what? It's definitely coming because the economy is not getting any better, and if they made it legal and taxed it, they could generate a tremendous amount of money out of that.
Well, yeah, if tax is involved, they'll do it. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Take care.
To see what condition my condition was in.
Oh. Yeah. Russ and Berwyn. Good morning, Russ.
Hey, good morning, Jake, and a happy prelated birthday.
Thank you.
Last week we enjoyed the show. I couldn't get in about all the fun facts of football at Wrigley.
Oh, that was, and I'm glad that was like years ago. That turned out to be a very entertaining game last week.
Yeah, it did. I even got around that, switching to fields and everything. But I wanted to mention a couple things that were not brought up that maybe, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you've ever been in Wrigley Field for a football game. I have, and I can't remember, as far as the point after touchdown and then field goals, kicking on the left field wall, I can't remember if they had a screen up there to catch the footballs like they do now in the big stadiums.
Well, I would imagine George Halas they did.
Well, I wanted to verify if any of the other listeners know this. Is there any truth to the rumor that he had a couple guys out there wearing bear jackets that said staff on the back, football helmets, and walkie-talkies waiting to catch the ball? I was just curious if that was...
I would imagine he did. Footballs are expensive.
Well, he used to throw them around like manhole covers, so... the other thing was the padding on the wall. They had no padding on that left field wall. And my grandfather told me there was a guy named Henry Sprinkle, or Ed Sprinkle, wore number 7 back in the 40s. He used to hit that wall regularly on pass routes in the games. And I asked my grandfather, I said, did he get seriously hurt? And Gramps said, no, he probably shortened his career, though.
Yeah, the wall's still there.
Yeah.
All right.
And they didn't pad it, and that little access gate, that metal access gate, the iron gate that opens up for the vehicles, they didn't paint it green to blend in either. They let it brown because when the ivy died, then it blended in with the brick. So the guy didn't know it was there.
Yeah, Wrigley was a dump 30 years ago.
Well,
it still kind of is.
But I know they also had the stands up there. They brought in them old bleacher stands that you see in high school. They brought them in and ran them in short center field to the first baseline, and they actually expanded the capacity because last week we're talking about they sold all the seats around, and a lot of them were crappy and far away. But yet, when they brought those bleacher seats in, they actually expanded the capacity to like just over 40,000.
Yeah, but they had to get out of there because I guess the NFL wanted them to have every NFL team had to have at least 50,000 seats.
Right, and
they had to get out of there.
And talking about getting out of Wrigley, what I wanted to tell you was, years ago, about 30 years ago, Bill Veeck wrote an article for a consumer magazine about moving Wrigley Field to Iowa and playing the games out there. And I don't know if it was going to be rebuild Wrigley in a replica or move it brick by brick. But, Bill Veeck was a pretty inventive guy, and he was kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, maybe for that Field of Dreams thing. Didn't the movie come out, what was it, 20 years ago? Something like that? If they would have torn Wrigley down and built it somewhere, rebuilt in the suburbs, it would have been better off some years ago. Now they're stuck with it where they are because it's become this big place to have fun, have a party. The ivy, the beer, and a lot of women. Now, is that an uplifting call or a down call? Because they're trying to keep it uplifting this morning. Russ in Park Ridge. Good morning, Russ. Welcome to the show.
Yes, what I'd like to say is my daughter was a big advocate of pit bull dogs, right?
Yeah.
She gets a pit bull dog. I got a German Shepherd. I says, the German Shepherd's the best dog on the planet.
Because they're German.
They're
very efficient.
Oh.
When they go out in the morning, they do number 1, number 2 in no time because they're efficient. They're German.
How about the law enforcement agencies use them as a major ingredient? However, she gets the pit bull. I says, what the hell's wrong with you getting a stupid pit bull? She's had it for 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 of them, her and her boyfriend, right? They're in California. They're pot-smoking wackos, right? Oh, it's how you treat the dog. Well, I'm sorry to say, it ripped half her arm off. No, it just kind of did a little damage to her, and her boyfriend intervened, tried to hurt the jaws off of the pit bull off her arm, this and that, and then he went to teach the dog a lesson, and they both winded up in the hospital.
Now, did she get stitches?
She didn't. She just got kind of like teeth marks, but his whole forearm was ripped open massively.
How many stitches did he get?
He don't even have them because it was so bad to where they couldn't do anything. They put a cast on the one part, and then he's got to go Monday to a surgeon. And they don't have health care. They don't have any insurance, this and that.
We have Obamacare now.
Well, yeah, that was all covered there. But, however, I warned them people. And she's crying to me for this and that. And I says, you idiot, I told you those pit bulls are no good.
Now, what happened? Well, what happened to the pit bull? Where's the pit bull now?
Well, the pit bull's going to go down. You know why? Because it had a previous conviction. Because the pit bull, I guess, nicked someone, and then that person
so
went
it's a repeat offender.
It's a repeat, and yet, after all this mauling, he said, go get the gun. You know, in other words, it mauled her.
Russ, there's no such thing as a bad dog.
Well, not in my world. A pit bull belongs in a junkyard.
Dogs don't kill, people kill.
Dogs, no. These 2 dogs, these pit bulls, and they were that, and they had that. She says, "Oh, they're
Did they get attacked by both of them?
Huh?
Did they get attacked by both?
They have 2 pit bulls.
Well, did both pit bulls attack?
No, the female is passive. That's my daughter's dog.
So that dog just sat there and watched.
Yeah, and then I says, what good is that dog when it didn't defend you? My German Shepherd would have defended me.
But on the upside, that dog didn't join in. You got to look at the bright side.
Right, laid down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other one's going to get put down. But then here's the liberal. They're freaks. My daughter's like, Dad, you're just everything I say to her.
What part of California do they live in, Russ?
You know.
What part of California do they live in?
Northern, Sacramento area.
Oh, there you go.
And up in the mountains. And listen to this.
That's a very big marijuana area. Did you know that?
When the dog ripped his arm to shreds, and he can't, from what I hear, they can't, it's an hour to get to, if you call an emergency thing, it takes an hour to get there. Now, if it would have got his artery, God only knows. They tied his arm up, that they went into the emergency, whatever.
Then your daughter would have been looking for a new boyfriend.
I was hoping that both dogs would have ripped each other out, and then she'd come back here, but whatever, that's the deal, you know.
Yeah, okay.
You know, that's a father of, when this whole thing transpired. But I'm just saying, the pit bulls, when I gave her advice, like pit bulls...
German Shepherds, they're efficient.
And they says, it depends, but now she's telling me, Dad, you were right.
Oh, see, there you go. You got a dad, you were right.
So I says, why'd you do that? Because I was a pit bull?
Okay, Bruce, we got to go now. Thank you. I don't think that goes in the uplifting category, does it? See, but I look on the bright side. The one pit bull just sat there and watched. Didn't join in, didn't defend. It just sat there. Because that's good. 591-8900, your pit bull tearing off your arm stories right here on Awake with Jake on WLS. Back after this.
Awake with Jake. Jake Hartford, 890 AM, WLS.
Permanently extend the high-income tax cuts. I think that would be a mistake.
News happens here.
Making these permanent would be the most important thing we could do to help the country.
First,
Congress is broken.
The coming tax increase.
I'm a young conservative. This is the example of the Democrats do not get it. I really want to get this problem solved now.
And we look forward to exploring the ways in which we can go forward together.
890 AM.
I think there are three things that matter to your future.
WLS.
Are you tired of sex pills that don't work? Hi, this is David Pormon, president of Zencor Plus, and I want to send you a free trial pack of Zencor, the world's strongest natural sex pill, absolutely free. Zencor works in less than 45 minutes and lasts up to 24 hours, guaranteed. You're not going to believe how long you're going to last. This is the best FDA lab-tested sex pill available today. Listen, I could talk for hours about the special, powerful formula that makes up Zencor and support why it works so well, but I'd rather let you find out for yourself because the proof is in the pill. And let me tell you, man to man, I take Zencor every time I perform and couldn't imagine being without it, and neither will you. So call now and try my powerful FDA lab-tested Zencor absolutely free.
Find out how to get your free supply of Zencor before it's too late. Call 1-800-213-3395. That's 1-800-213-3395. Size does matter. Don't miss out on your free supply. 1-800-213-3395. That's 1-800-213-3395.
Sally Field talks about getting a month of Boniva free.
If you have osteoporosis, check out the My Boniva program. It's free to join and shows you lots of ways to help improve your bone strength. Boniva works with your body to help stop and reverse bone loss. And My Boniva gives you calcium-rich recipes, monthly reminders, and even a month of Boniva free.
Once monthly Boniva is a 150 milligram prescription tablet to treat and prevent postmenopausal osteoporosis. See our ad in Weight Watchers. Don't take Boniva ibandronate sodium if you have problems with your esophagus, low blood calcium, severe kidney disease, or can't sit or stand for at least 1 hour. Follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Boniva and tell your doctor if you have difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems. If jaw problems or severe bone, joint, and or muscle pain develop, tell your doctor.
Ask your doctor if Boniva can help you stop losing and start reversing. And check out the My Boniva program.
Join today and get a free month of Boniva if eligible at myboniva.com or call 1-888-MY-BONIVA.
Excuse me, do you know how to get to Maine and Maple?
How's that cooked? How do you change the ringtone?
How much does this cost?
Does this bus stop at Elm Street?
We ask questions everywhere in life, except... Any questions?
No.
At the doctor's office, ask questions.
What is this test for?
Are there any side effects?
Questions lead to better health care. Go to ahrq.gov for a list of 10 questions everyone should know. Questions are the answer. Public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Log on to WLSAM.com. Keyword deals to see what restaurants you can dine at for half price. Deals on demand, half price certificates, full priced experience.
Get the news you need to know about with ABC News updates. Just minutes away on 890 AM WLS. This is Jake Hartford on 890 AM WLS.
.553, Awake with Jake right here on WLS. Thank you for making this your show of choice when you wake up on Saturday morning. Dr. Bob will be with us in the next hour. And a man I'm sure will say, I told you so, when we hear from him. Bob in Schaumburg. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Hi. My daughter thought she was real smart, but I told her not to clone that saber-toothed tiger. They got teeth the size of your arm.
Wait a minute. What about a saber-toothed saw?
Saber-toothed tiger. You know.
A tiger saw?
No, the extinct one. She cloned one, and it ate her. No, she won't listen to me anymore.
I could say something. I won't. I could. You know what I think it's time for? I think it's time I give you an uplifting story. We need something to make you feel better. Because that was very depressing with the pit bull. Here, this story is you'll like this story. This is out in Delray Beach. Police arrested a 53-year-old Delray Beach man and his 12-year-old son on felony charges Thursday after an 84-year-old man was punched, thrown to the ground, and kicked in the groin in a Target parking lot confrontation caught on video. Huh? That's not the good part yet. It said that the victim, Lawrence Blank, 84, was loading items into the rear of his car the other day when a silver Corvette with a tag Quicks SL on it started backing out on the opposite side of the parking aisle. The Corvette nearly struck Blank in his car, prompting a bystander to yell, "Watch out." That's what the bystander yelled. According to the probable cause statement filed by police, police said that Blank, the 84-year-old man, asked the man why he almost hit him, after which the driver, later identified as Barry Arthur Horschett, replied with, "Blank you," to Blank. It's kind of fitting there, isn't it? He didn't actually say blank you. There was another word he used, but I have to say blank you. Anyway, Blank asked the man to move his car so he could leave, and Horschett replied, "Make me." At that point, Blank told police he walked towards the Corvette and pointed at him, Horschett, and said, "Move your damn vehicle." And he got the same response from him. At that point, police say the passenger, later identified as Horschett's 12-year-old, the 92-pound, 5'2" son, exited the Corvette wearing a Ravens jersey and threatened to beat the blank out of Blank. Again, he didn't say blank. It was some other word. If he had said anything more to his father, and at that point, the 84-year-old man told the boy to get back into his car, and Blank said the boy responded by shoving him into his car and onto the ground, standing over him and punching him repeatedly in the jaw. At which point the father got out of the car and kicked Blank in the groin, and then someone from the store ran out, and then Blank and the boy, Blank was while lying on the ground. Horschett and his son drove off in the car. Police eventually caught up with them and arrested him. But the uplifting part of the story was, in the explanation, the son said that Blank had touched the father, and the son was just coming to his father's defense. Now, how often do you see that nowadays? Here was a son. It didn't matter how old the person was, but the son was coming to the father's defense. Now, is that uplifting? Arthur in Dallas. Good morning, sir. Welcome to WLS.
How's it going?
It's going. What can I do for you?
Okay.
Real quick.
The pit bulls, I love pit bulls. Any dog can be mean, but if you treat a pit bull great, they'll be your best friend.
Do you have a pit bull?
Yes, I do.
And how long have you had him?
I had him 5 years, and he was picked up by my sister. She's a police officer, and we don't know where it came from, but we probably think it came from somebody that dumped him off that was a dog fighter.
And you still have your arm and all your fingers?
Oh, yes.
And your toes?
Yes, I do.
There you go. Thank you, Arthur.
Thank you very much. Bye.
There you go. Unsolicited call from Arthur in Dallas. Standing up for the pit bull. Very few people will stand up for a pit bull after you hear a story about it mauling someone's arm. Anyway, this hour is gone. More to come right here on Awake with Jake on WLS.
Jake Hartford is on 890 AM WLS.